everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. The second meeting of the year on tap here between these two fierce AFC rivals. These teams know each other very well, and that only serves to stoke the flames of what is always a heated battle. It's the Bengals going up against the Steelers. And with that, we'll send you up to the North Shore of Pittsburgh and Heinz Field by the Three Rivers as we headed over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Carry for the former Michigan State man, Le'Veon Bell. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23. Time for the offensive starters now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a guy to watch out wide, Sammy Coates.
A slow start in his rookie season, only caught 1 pass in 2015. They're expecting much bigger things from him, trying to help out that offense. If he can get open, you know his quarterback will find him.
A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. On the right side, caught by Green. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Sammy Coates has it complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for him.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Geno Atkins in there to sack him for a loss of 6. So a big sack on second down. Now let's see what the offense has in store for third. On third down, Roethlisberger. He completes it to Bryant. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to lead this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Geno Atkins is an absolute force as a defensive tackle. Forces every offense that he plays against to alter their game plan.
On second down, it's Bell. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with third down coming up. It's been a 7-play opening drive, and this is third and short. Third and 2. Now Roethlisberger. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down. So on fourth down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. They go play action here on first down. And his first pass is incomplete. Eli Rogers, the intent. Receiver. That'll bring up second down. On play action, they'll throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
And a look at the Steelers' defensive unit.
Bud Dupree came out of the University of Kentucky determined to let everyone know that they play football there as well as basketball. A terrific pass rusher off the edge.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the kick. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
But that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. And he'll get it down here to the 43. That one good for 14 yards. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. A big gain of 38 there on third down.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I can just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him 8 on the play, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. The line of scrimmage is the 2 here on 3rd and goal.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks. But it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
So now on 4th down, Mike McCarthy will turn to his field goal unit. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Bullock will put this one through, and the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took them a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
And now out come the Steelers. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up. But you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Brought in by Coates. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll come out in the pistol. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He completes it to Bryant. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
It fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell. And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gordon. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So the offense has it 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Bell. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
3rd down and 12. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38.
4th and 1. I don't think Wild Horses could have dragged that quarterback off the field. He was motioning to go for it from the start. And sure enough, it's the ground game that gets him the 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down here after the run. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe. Obviously, a big play was needed, and you can see his eyes light up as he realized there's absolutely no one in front of him. And he takes off and goes a long way. Not only does he pick up a 1st down, but a big gain to boot.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Ebron caught left side. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Let's go! Second round! Here we go!
They go play action here on 1st down. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out how to defend because they have plenty of room to still take deep shots at the end zone as they just did there. Yet at the same time, you've got to be ready for the short throw. In this case, when you see the cue that they're going for the end zone, retreat and make sure you have a way to play forward, back towards the receiver, and have a chance to bat the ball away as they did there.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Fresh set of downs here. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They're going to look to throw. Flush to his right. And I think the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And a big turnover there as his guy will get the football back. They come up with 1 running back. That's Bell. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Trying to get it there to Martavis Bryant. And now it's second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw. And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Steelers a first down.
It's funny, partner. Le'Veon Bell, when he came out of Michigan State, when I go back and look at my analysis of him and what my grades were for him, thought he was a big-time player, great potential. But I didn't know we were going to get this player. I was used to a big, solid, thick running back. But now I've got a full package, a guy who can do everything, as we just saw there, including breaking tackles.
But at the time, 2nd-round pick in 2013, some people probably wishing they'd taken him in the 1st. Give him 11 on the game there, and the Steelers are going to have a first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run. Big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Incomplete. He was trying to find Ladarius Green there as tight end, and that'll bring up second down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. They'll go back to the ground with Bell. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. Here's Roethlisberger. On the right side, caught by Green. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll go for it with Bell. Le'Veon Bell. It's a foot race. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have taken the lead. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Back to throw now on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to air one out, and this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. A gain of 32 that time. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Again, he'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Back to throw again. Eluding the pressure right. His throw incomplete. So the flag is for the very rare illegal forward pass penalty.
Not often that a quarterback forgets where the line of scrimmage is. They have an innate sense about it. On this play, the quarterback did.
12 yards to go on third down. So the D-line's going to spread out. Now back to throw. And that is incomplete. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And Bullock will put this one through, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So that's their third trip to the red zone, but all they have to show so far is 2 field goals.
Tough sledding in this game for the offense. They get to the red zone. Normally you count on a minimum of 3 points in each red zone trip. Not so far in this game.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the #1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action. Now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground. One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Looking deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Sammy Coates, his second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played with the analytics, there's going to be a lot more of going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
And on 2nd and 10 now. They come up in an offset eye. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. And it's 3rd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
And he comes back with 1 complete. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game, as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there, just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They'll look to throw here. Ebron with it over the middle. Pushing him away.
Popped it right out there.
And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain at 21 yards. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Ebron caught left side. A gain of 6 there on first. 2nd down now after the pass completion.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that incompletion breaks a string of 5 straight connections. And it's 2nd down.
And that one was knocked away, and I think the defender's going to be a little upset with themselves. They made the play on the football, but that one felt like a forced pass by the quarterback. Thought he had someone open. He really wasn't. Maybe an example of having too much confidence in his receiver that no matter what, I'm going to throw it to him. And that was a play made by the defense, and it could have been a bigger one.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so impotent. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Eric Ebron, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game. They'll run here with Bernard. And he'll get into the end zone, and those 2 points are going to tie the game. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had...
Try to hit the tight end Bennett, but it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
He'll look to throw. That is incomplete.
Sometimes it looks pretty simple, batting the ball away, but oftentimes there's some pretty good teaching and practice that goes into it. Being able to get to the receiver, not interfere, and get his hands through the football and knock it away.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
And let's see 6 defensive backs out there. They're in the dime here on 3rd and goal. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that was a nice play. He knocked it away, but obviously you want the interception in this situation. You want to take away any chance that they have any decision to make on 4th down. But things happen so quickly in the end zone in this compressed area of the field that you're just happy to knock it away and not allow a touchdown.
So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brendan, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. They go back to the air here after the INT. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Here we go. Left.
Bryant, the lone receiver, left. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. He's going to rifle one. And got his man. Complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And this one caught by Coates. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He completes it to Bryant. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a 1st down. And call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Out left here, it's complete to Wheaton. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Over the middle here to Coates. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, there really wasn't much there, but a completion is a completion. A tough 3rd down awaits them.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They go play action here on first down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Trying to lay one up deep, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to go down for a fourth time today, and this time the result is a safety. Well, this O-line, they've had trouble with a pass rush all game long. This time it cost them 2 points.
I mean, you've got a quarterback back there who's running for his life, and he's had no time to throw the football. They've sacked him time and again, and this time they do it in the end zone.
You said it, partner. No time, none whatsoever. Now the Steelers' offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They go back to the air here after the INT. And Bryant's got it over the middle. It goes as a pickup of 23. And it'll give the Steelers a first down. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory? That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on second down. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. So there on that play, offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
Second down following the run. They run with a fullback Nix, and he'll be brought down. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They come up in an offset eye. They'll run it with Bell down to the 25. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Play action. Now Roethlisberger. And caught right side, Green. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Obviously,
and now the Bengals are going to call another timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. Now Bell. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Partner, when it's a goal-to-go situation, if you're on the field on defense, you have to know that you may be called on to make a tackle at any time. Here, the cornerback does exactly that. Plays the run really well and makes a big play.
That is caught at the 7-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On 3rd and goal, Roethlisberger. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
And Boswell's kick is good. And with that, they will move ahead by 2 here in the 4th. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front, but then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
The Bengals getting set to go, and last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points. Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet, but you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the 4th quarter.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Bud Dupree in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Well, this O-line, they've had trouble with a pass rush all game long. This time it cost them 2 points.
I mean, you've got a quarterback back there who's running for his life, and he's had no time to throw the football. They sacked him time and again, and this time they do it in the end zone.
You said it, partner. No time, none whatsoever. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them. Settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Again, it's Bell, and he'll get this up only to about the 33. Now, hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Let's see what the defense dials up here. 3rd and 4. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. He'll get it running right. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And the play clock running down, so Mike Tomlin burns a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute it.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. Down 4 late. Got to go for it here on 4th down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Steelers are close to finishing off this football game. Roethlisberger dropping to a knee, and that ought to do it. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Pittsburgh, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Denver Broncos next week. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.